GNT show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Star Trek: The Final Frontier. These are the voyages of the GNT show, our continuing mission to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to boldly go where no show has gone before.
Naomi Wildman. I was setting it up. Welcome to the GNT show, where obviously we have no script.
Yeah, let's just get this puppy started.
As always, the beautiful, the lovely, the high-booted, short-skirted, and big-breasted Terry Lynn.
That would be me. Admiral Shaw.
She's badass. It's Ceridian.
Good morning. It's Sunday on the GNT show.
You know the worst part of this morning? It's not the getting up early. It's the fact they're making me wear clothes to do the show.
It's time for Coffee Clutch.
Strap on your helmets, boys and girls. It's gonna get rough.
Oh, it's going to be one of those mornings.
Let me put on my seatbelt, my helmet with the little blinky light on top.
For safety.
When we decided we were going to do the GNT show, one of the things we said was no standards. GNT show does not go on the air because we're ready. It goes on the air because it's 9 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Mike could have snapped by then and killed us both. Pain sticks for Mike, evidently.
We have our production meetings on the air.
Well, it's the best way to get you to adhere to things.
You've now set an expectation. That's the thing about the GNT show is we set no expectations.
I need more coffee.
Wow.
I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to do general news or Star Trek news, and I figured
This is Terry having a series of small strokes, actually.
Well, it doesn't take long for this show to deteriorate, does it?
Straight the fuck downhill.
I don't always podcast, but when I do, I GNT.
And good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, no matter what time it is where you are, for our friends and around the world. This is episode 188 of the GNT show. I am Gettysburg 7. There he is to my left, your right, filling in for Terry Lynn this week, wearing her Anovo's Lieutenant Commander's dress or TOS uniform. It's Ceridian.
Kapla. I love the way my legs look in this.
Yeah, I'm surprised you actually fit her boots. Oh, she's going to be upset by the Terran. That's all I'm going to say.
Just make sure that you have liners in them.
And there you go, to my right, your left. It's the lovely Jessfa.
Hello, and be careful because there's a lot of pollen out there. I just snorted a line of pollen, so excuse me.
Oh, nice. Also known as Janet. That's all I'm going to say.
That would be me. So, damn it, Janet, I'm ready for those jokes.
Damn it, Janet. And there you see him way off in the distance. If you look, you can see him. He's on the other side of the building in a broom closet. It's Midnight Shadow.
Oh, I can see my house from there.
Yeah. This is why we have him in a broom closet. Well, let me start by giving some news here. We had a show meeting yesterday. Next week is my last episode.
Yay!
Yay! Oh, no.
No, next week is my last episode. I will be gone. And so we'll have some things in place to fix it. But yes, Mikey cried.
And we might be sacrificing a goat, too, just so you know.
So
Maybe one of those in trees.
So Jewish. You gonna put the blood on the doorstep?
Yes, definitely.
There's just some things going on. And no, I will be gone for 3 weeks after next week because I will be deployed for some Army Reserve shooty time stuff to another location, shall we say. And there will be no internet access where I am. So I shall be indisposed while making money. So, hey, that's okay because that money will be used in Vegas.
Yeah, you're going to be so far out in the sticks.
Did you look it up where I told you, Mike?
I did not, but it sounded like it was so far out there that you're going to need like a map and like 3 GPSs to get back.
Oh yeah, it's way out there. That's all I'll say. And no, Woody, if you're going to beg, no. Yeah, it's pretty far out there. But that's yeah. So we had a team meeting last night. We huddled up. We did shots of tequila and came up with a plan.
We laughed and cried.
It was better than cats.
Many things are.
Are you an anti-catite?
Only the musical.
What?
Only the musical.
How do you not like that play? Oh, Matthew Anderson, I have to tell you, it has been switched. I am not going to Germany. I am going to someplace far, far more exotic. But that's all I can say.
Exotic.
Admit it, Mike. It is exotic.
Exotic as in somewhere no one in their right mind would want to visit.
Well, wait a minute. We may have listeners there, so let's not offend.
It's kind of a good news, bad news joke. The good news is that you're going away for 3 weeks. You're going to make some nice, serious, simoleons. And the bad news is...
Don't be cheesy.
Yes. But the bad news is you're going to...
No. Let's. They're guessing now in the chat room. So why don't we wait until I come back to tell them where I have been?
We'll run a small contest.
Yeah. Where in the world is Gettysburg 7?
Maybe we should make a hashtag.
That would be awesome. Yeah, but then
you'll have to come up with like tweets periodically to kind of sort of give clues, but nothing too
revealing.
Too revealing.
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, Grim, shut up. You're dangerously close. He says deployed undisclosed location. Code for Kate Upton has a photo shoot somewhere. But yes, so you can start guessing. Is there any hint we could give now to say where I will be? Let me think.
Well, we've already said it's like in...
Okay, let them pay attention.
Maybe stop milking this for all it's worth, okay?
Yeah, because they got to pay attention, which is not our audience's strong suit.
Yes. Not only do we squirrel, but our audience does as well.
Oh, they're worse than us.
That's why we love them.
Oh, we got some Star Trek news.
We do.
Well, wait, we had some coffee talk stuff.
Oh, okay.
Coffee talk.
Coffee talk. Coffee
I will give you yet another topic. Well, my only real coffee talk is that I'm firmly ensconced in final projects right now. So if strange things come out of my Twitter feed, you know why.
What?
I'm taking both writing for social media and I'm taking ethics. So
this show needs that.
So this means I spread memes and then I take them back because I don't have permission to use the imagery.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious about what the 2 classes I'm taking. Yeah, and it is final project.
So you have to send a meme out and then recall it?
No, I don't have to recall it. No, I send memes out and stuff like that. For the writing class, I'm doing, actually, it's to create a fake app and a campaign behind it and stuff like that. And so mine is a reader and a beta reader and writer matchmaking app. And actually, I'm thinking, this isn't a bad idea. So if I ever learn how to code, which, will happen any week now, maybe I'll make it.
Sign me up.
Hello, Sakima. Oh, who else watched the premiere of Orphan Black Season 3 last night?
Not me.
Don't all overwhelm me. Jesus fucking Christ. Are you people really? Oh, well, wait a minute. What is our mic, a 70-second delay?
Yeah, it's a 20-second,
Okay, so let me... Strangers in the night,
I haven't even watched
fluids.
The first season yet.
Oh, God, Mike, it is so good.
Terry, I watched the first season in a day of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because everything that's been revealed this season, it's I need to figure out what's going on.
I love Sky.
Yeah, so I did that, and then yesterday I started watching Buffy because I hadn't seen it before, and Terry was saying
Stop. Whoop.
You've never
seen Buffy?
I'm not big into the whole vampire genre.
It's not just vampires, though. It's demons and everything. But that's almost secondary to the awesomeness that is Buffy and her friends, the Scooby Squad.
Yeah, I've watched almost no Buffy as well, actually. I confess. Take my geek card now.
Going up.
Well, like I said, I saw a few episodes yesterday. I'll watch a few more.
Are you enjoying it? Well, wait. It's first season, right?
It's first season.
Okay. The show goes into much heavier arcs the deeper it goes, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to give it a chance, but I watched maybe 5 or 6 episodes yesterday, and that was like more than enough.
You got to keep watching, Mike.
I'll keep watching. It was just more than enough for one day.
Yeah, the arc. No, I can understand that, but the arcs in it are unbelievable. Plus, in the first season, you're seeing Armin Shimmerman.
Well, that might make it.
He's the principal of the school.
Yeah, he's in it for the first, was it 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, he's a main character.
Right on. I was also playing Stowe at the time, so
Oh my God.
My attention was divided.
So yeah, so we've got oh my God, Orphan Black was, oh God. I'm telling you, Helena is the most tragic character on television right now. It's so sad. And to think where she started and where she is now, it's unbelievable. Love that show. Love that show. Love it. Everybody say it together. Love it.
I'll take your word for it.
Do what?
I'll take your word for it.
As well you should, because I'm quite magnificent.
Dixon.
So I will tell you, I will tell the audience. I said this in the staff meeting yesterday. I am really pissed about something regarding my deployment, and I was almost homicidal until I realized something fortunate. So I head out on May 2nd, which means I miss Free Comic Book Day again, just like last year. But
so send your free comic books to
host at GNT Show.
P.O. Box 2413, Rockville, Maryland. Remember those, Jasper?
02134. No, it's something else.
Yeah, you remember those?
Of course.
Send for your free pamphlet to quit smoking to smoking. P.O. Box 24, Rockville, Maryland. But no, so I'm going to miss Free Comic Book Day, but thank God I already have tickets for the Avengers midnight showing May 1st. Oh, so Woody's birthday is May 1st, so he's a communist because it's May Day.
So you'll be able to catch Avengers and then go do your...
And then go do 3 weeks of shooty time.
All right.
Oh.
But unfortunately, well, you know what? It's kind of a good thing because we won't be able to talk about it until I get back, and Terry's not going to be able to see it until just before then.
Well, I can tell you all about it next Sunday if you want.
You know what? Blow me.
I might actually go see it on the 1st. I just need to figure out where the theater is around here.
Oh, it's easy, Mike.
I've got Terry has maps and hand-drawn maps, and I mean,
no, just Google theaters for the area,
of course,
and then MapQuest it,
of course.
And what kind of phone do you have?
Or this could be kind of a D&D thing, where you have to slay stuff in order to get to the movie theater.
What kind of maps? What kind of phone do you have, Mike?
It's a Droid.
Yeah, if you MapQuest it and then just open your Google Maps, it'll be in there. What the last thing that you looked up on MapQuest?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're good.
Yeah. It's not like I won't find it. It's just...
You're the most tentative Klingon in history.
It's too damn early. Although
you're like the Woodstock Klingon.
Oh, Mike is the thing with feathers, much like Hope.
Does anybody else know what that meant?
I think guys are being offended, but I don't know for sure.
I'm not sure what that meant, Mike. So I can't agree or disagree with her.
Poetry. Ooh, we're getting highfalutin here.
Why are you quoting? Really? You're quoting poetry?
Hang on, I'll find it.
No, that's okay.
Emily freaking Dickinson.
Who?
Emily freaking Dickinson.
Wasn't she like Miss California a couple of years ago and lost? Everybody thought she was going to be the Miss America. No.
She had a tragic life.
Who doesn't?
This is true.
I mean, just imagine if you had to live Baz's life, please. Just out of nowhere, that right hook comes flying in. You're overestimating the audience.
I'm bringing culture here to the masses.
If we wanted culture, we wouldn't be doing this show.
You have a point there.
Thank you. Oh, hey, Steve has a mission for the show for next year. So listen up, people, while Steve explains what his job next year will be.
Hey, Steve.
Huh?
What?
Oh, for fuck's sake. This is, Mike, this is why we've never been nominated for anything.
Oh.
Well, this is the podcast awards that you're wanting us to be part of.
All I'll say is I'd be pleased just to be nominated.
If you all could see it, I'm doing the thing where I'm just holding the bridge of my nose between two fingers and shaking my head slowly, just because there's, Steve,
It's sort of a proto face bomb.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Mike, we have news?
We have news?
Yes, but the dogs are kind of reacting.
Yeah, they are.
Did you let them out?
Star Trek News.
Okay.
For Star Trek news, let's talk about the celebrities. I got a few pieces of news for the celebrities. First up is Christopher McDonald. He has a new show. It's called The Squeeze. He
was Castillo?
Yeah, he was Castillo.
Wow, I feel so sad that I actually knew that without looking at who he was.
So there's an interview over on StarTrek.com with him, and obviously they talk about yesterday's Enterprise, but they also talk about his new show, The Squeeze. So check that out.
What is The Squeeze about?
Yeah, is there anything on that?
You wanted me to read the article?
I'm sorry, I lost my head. Ooh, Michael Nuri's in it.
My computer is overloaded right now. I can't click back to it.
That's our tech guy, ladies and gentlemen.
My rinky-dinky laptop is not as uber powerful as the machine at home.
So since we don't know the plot of that series, we're going to make one up now?
I think it's con men doing con jobs, and I don't know.
Another one of those?
Make up.
You're making it up now?
No, it's called, okay, here it is. McDonald says it's based on a true story, and that was the most appealing thing. That always puts things a notch above. See,
Yeah.
Chloe,
The dogs are great.
I also liked this time I was not playing the golfer, I'm playing the gambler. Riverboat is based on Titanic Thompson, a very, very famous gambler in the 30s, 40s, and 50s in America. He was world-renowned for betting on anything. He bet on how many times you blinked your eye in a minute. He wanted to be in the game so much that he bet on anything. That was fascinating. Doing the research for that, I enjoyed living in his shoes for a while. So it's about Titanic Thompson, apparently.
That is
gambler.
a serious addiction. That if you're betting on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's something that really needs help.
5 breaths in the next 30 seconds.
Wow.
I don't know.
There are some people like that, though. I mean,
yeah,
gambling is a true addiction.
A public service message here from the G&T show.
So are women. What? Who? What? How did you? What? Who? What? How come Sakima has no photo? If you're going to be here, have a photo. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, next piece of news.
Okay.
There's a piece on StarTrek.com with Joel Grey. So they talk about his career and his time on Star Trek when he made his appearance on Voyager as Caleb in the episode Resistance with Kate Mulgrew. That's the one where she kind of like woke up and almost... he thought that she was someone else, his daughter or something, and he was just this almost whacked out guy. But it was a fun episode.
Yeah, he had a long career. He was in Cabaret with Liza Minnelli.
Yeah.
If you ever want to see something truly awesome, yeah, Joel Grey is an amazing actor. If you ever want to see something truly awesome, Google Liza Minnelli, We Are the Champions. Yes, Liza Minnelli singing Queen. That's all I'm going to say.
And
stunned silence falls over the room.
No, I'm finding it.
What's going on, Anthony?
Okay, let's see. For the next bit of Star Trek news regarding celebrities, Alexander Siddig, also AKA Julian Bashir, he's going to be on Game of Thrones. Who wants to bet how long he lives? Sorry, that was a little callback.
Thank you, Jess, for putting that up. I was having a discussion with somebody because we were talking about my multiple surgeries, and I still stand by the talk we had way back when I was having my surgeries. The big surgery, that I would want Pulaski to be my surgeon and Julian to be the other person in there with her.
Yeah.
That's just me, but I it's amazing how much I grew to love the character Julian. Especially serious Julian. Like in The Pale Moonlight, when he pushes back at Cisco and he says, he's not happy and he's going to put it in writing. I think that we didn't get enough. We got a lot of serious Bashir, don't get me wrong, but I think he was still overshadowed by goofy Bashir from the beginning, but the growth of Julian was awesome.
And he always knew the best place to get the greatest holosuite programs.
Well, the man, he's a boss.
He knew a guy.
I know a guy about a thing. But my problem with Julian was, if I'm going to go into the well, never mind. I don't want to die in my holosuite stuff. I want to live.
Let me live.
Oh, since Anthony Battles is here.
What's going on, Anthony?
I had macaroni and cheese yesterday. And
you are a wild man.
Good man.
And the day before that, I had grilled cheese sandwich. So, yeah.
You are living all over the edge.
I know.
You're hanging by a fingertip over the edge.
It was awesome.
He has a bit of a dairy air going on.
I actually like the mac and cheese better than the grilled cheese. I'm just saying.
Mute yourself for 1 minute for that.
Maybe later, babe.
Hey, hey, that's a bing.
Okay.
On that happy note.
Oh, Anthony, come on
Anthony.
now. This is Mike. You can't say something like that to Mike.
It had sausage and bacon and it was like gooey cheese. It was good. I'm telling you.
What kind of cheese was it?
I think it was like pepper jack.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
That's some highfalutin mac and cheese you were having.
It was awesome. I think I creamed my jeans.
Okay.
Alrighty
then.
then.
Just take a moment now and go to commercial break because the audience's eyes are bleeding.
What? I spilt it.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Let me apologize to our audience. Oh, he says came out of the box, right, Mike? That is not one that came out of the box. Well, Mike did. Oh, hey, hello.
Oh, completely off the rails, folks. Completely. The rails are in another county.
This is the power of mac and cheese.
The power of mac and cheese compels
Brain
you.
scrub.
All right, let's...
Power of pepper jack compels you. The power of pepper jack compels you.
I need a new box and an old box.
Karen, we needed that mac and cheese. What did you do? I'm sorry. Henry. I'm sorry.
There's no mac, only cheese.
Goodfellas, always appropriate.
It sort of started with Exorcist for a while there, too.
I know. But sometimes you just need to transition into a Goodfellas reference.
I don't disagree.
Is there more news, Mike?
Yes, more news. Okay.
Please have news.
More dates for the Star Trek live in concert series have been added between June and November, and there's a couple dates in San Francisco. Let's see, Kansas City, Missouri, Omaha, Nebraska, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Irving, California, Vienna, Virginia. I mean, there's all over the place. So they're really spreading this thing out. Looks like almost I think they started off, in Europe, and now they're hitting some of the states. So check it out if it's coming in your neck of the woods. Okay.
I just thought of something.
Okay.
But I'm trying to remember what it is now. It's not Star Trek news, but it kind of is.
Oh.
Do tell.
The teaser trailer dropped for JJ's Star Wars.
Yes, and we have the link.
Yeah, that actually was on the agenda.
Okay.
But yeah, we can talk about it now and then go into Star Trek news. Or Star Trek movie news after that.
I don't know, because Chloe seems to want to talk about this.
Yeah, she wants to talk about this. Go ahead.
Star Trek movie news.
My God, people, hold on. Really? That is not number 5. That is Mac and Cheese from Friends, the series that Joey was in. You people don't... Cheese? Cheese is the robot?
No, I remember.
Computerized, humanoid, electronically enhanced secret enforcer? Cheese?
That part I didn't know.
Yeah.
See, it's educational here.
Yeah, so the Star Wars trailer came out.
What was your first impression?
I was kind of blown away. I liked what I saw. I didn't understand what I was looking at half the time, but it was impressive. I feel so jealous.
Well, hold on. One thing none of us can say is that his 2 Star Trek movies did not look good.
They did.
Visually, they were amazing. Nothing that I'm seeing so far shows me that the story will make any sense.
Yeah, it looks it looks really pretty. There's no question that it looks really pretty. But
I'm not gonna lie, I may have had a little bit of goosebump action going on with that first scene of the speeder going across the desert with the crashed Star Destroyer.
Yeah. But it's sort of reminiscent of what is it? What are we calling it now? Number 4, A New Hope. The first one.
Yeah.
The real first one.
Isn't George Lucas the person who's wrote most of this anyway?
No.
Because I thought he already had the scripts, most of it worked out well before.
He did, but then, Disney got their hands on the franchise. So they're doing what they want to do now.
Yeah. But yet, I'm not going to lie, it was exciting to see.
Yeah, it was exciting. I want to see it now.
Some quick thoughts that I had. Visually it looks amazing. Can't really tell what's going on because it's very JJ-like in that they almost give too many scenes that are so disjointed. This one was obviously one meant to get the blood flowing and the juices flowing.
Yeah, and they were flowing.
Yeah. God, Harrison Ford is fucking old.
Yeah, I kind of, felt that too. I, just sort of looking at him and thinking, really?
Yeah.
They're making you do this now? Oh,
they installed the rocking chair on the Millennium Falcon.
It just was like, wow. Wow. Yeah, and as they're saying in the chat room, what's really cool is that BB-8, that droid with the ball that rolls around, is real. It's not CGI, which is really kind of amazing.
That blew my mind.
Yeah, did you see the video clip from the Star Wars Celebration where he came out on stage?
Yeah, and then the next day they released almost like a schematic of how they made him.
It's amazing.
It is pretty amazing.
It wouldn't be me if I didn't say this. I don't know who that chick is in the clip. She's pretty freaking hot.
I think it's supposed to be Leia if you're talking about the one that gets handed the lightsaber.
No, the one who's running, the young girl and everything. And she helps up the black dude.
Yeah, I get the feeling that's a descendant. I think that's where we're going with this.
You think it's their daughter?
Yeah, that's my guess.
Luke's daughter?
Who would Luke be with?
Well,
According to one of, I think, the old Star Trek books that don't no longer count, he did have a wife, but...
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, they
Anthony
discounted
Battle
all the
says
old
Jade
books.
Solo. Is that who she is, Mike? The girl running...
I think she's Leia's and Han's daughter. I think
now
that's
George is saying it's Ray. Her name is Ray. Well, you can call me Ray, and you can call me Jay. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you. Thank God you're here.
Thank God you're here.
Yeah, because
I know. It's just you and I are the only ones getting these jokes. I get the feeling that she's supposed to be Leia and Han's daughter.
Now, I'm trying to understand what the deal was with that Darth Vader-looking stormtrooper.
What, the metal one?
Yeah.
I saw a thing that they're calling it like a flame trooper. Hello.
Hi. We're here to invade.
No, apparently he's supposed to be chromed out. I think he's chromed out for like fire protection. I don't know. But he does look badass. I do like the chrome look.
Yeah.
He looks like he belongs on a bumper.
But really, the first time I saw it, because let's face it, that trailer was everywhere. But I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and for a minute I thought it was Darth Vader because I only saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't fucking make any sense. But okay, and then I watched it closely. I was like, oh, it's a trooper. And they also dropped the preview for Star Wars Battlefront, the game, which looks pretty goddamn amazing. And let me just say this to CBS. Really? Can we please get a good game for a console?
Yeah.
Please? It's really not hard. You know, there's many, many talented people out there in the industry. Why is it so goddamn hard to make a good console game for Star Trek? And I'm not asking that rhetorically. What do you guys think? Why is Star Trek... Now, Elite Force was awesome. I loved Elite Force. Anyone?
Sorry.
Anyone?
Never played it.
No, the question is what... Oh, my God. Come here, Tequila.
Well, yeah, I had observed the same thing. I wanted to know why, Star Trek seems so... It doesn't get all the cool stuff. Star Wars, there's all this cool stuff coming out with it. Terry even found out on Novos. They're releasing an official Stormtrooper costume that you can purchase.
Oh yeah, and it's like $1,200.
Yeah, or you can buy the kit and make it yourself. I mean, it's like wow. But
well, hold on, we can't complain about Novos costumes.
Well,
I mean,
Novos, they've been doing Trek for years, which is fantastic. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, Star Wars, and I think it's a lot. It has a lot. I was talking to Terry about this, and she said it's because it's Disney. That's why their Star Wars seems to be getting all this really cool stuff all of a sudden.
Yeah, but Star Wars has always had all the cool stuff from the beginning.
True. Going back to the 70s with the first ones, I mean, I had that
shit.
So did I.
I had the Millennium Falcon. I had the Walkers.
Not me, but I had a bunch of action figures.
I had the Death Star.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know, Mike. You would have liked to come over to my house and look at my stuff. Not touch it. I wouldn't have let you touch it, of course. But
yeah, it's the combination of the sort of the cool factor of Star Wars plus the money and the marketing muscle of Disney, and you put that together and you get all this all this peripherals, and the gulf between Star Wars and Star Trek just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, and some things like X-wing combat and all of that very much lends itself to good video games for consoles. You know what I mean? Things like that, or even fighting the Battle of Hoth or walkers or being a stormtrooper, whatever, they all do. And Star Trek, as we well know, it doesn't go in that direction, but that doesn't mean someone can't come up with something good for I don't...
Yeah, it's
The Battle of Wolf 359. Oh, wait.
It doesn't lend itself well. And what Grim is saying in the chat room, he's right, is that when Lucas figured out that he could make a 2-hour toy trailer, that's when Star Wars stuff was everywhere, way before Disney. And that's very true. It's a synergy between the you've got what's on the screen and then what's in the what's in the Happy Meals or you can buy it at your comic book store. And back and forth, and it all feeds on itself. And we don't really seem to have so much of that. But part of that, I think, is also because of where is Trek, where is it directed? What's the audience that it's aimed at? The audience that Trek is aimed at is not children. It is now. Grown-ups.
No, not now.
Yeah, I mean you're right. You're right. It is now, but and it's teens and tweens now. But it had been older folks, and that's also why the fan base is aging.
Well, and that's why if you come up with a good game, you're going to bring in even more of the young crowd. But let's not forget with gaming now, what is the average age of the gamer?
30s,
it's in the 30s.
Yeah, and must be climbing by now.
But by the same token, you're going to get. Then again, there's no reason you can't set one in the Dominion War.
Yeah, I don't know. The money, the imagination, contracts. Who the hell knows?
Nothing says you can't have the fighters and ground combat and all of that. I mean, fuck, a mirror universe game.
That would be fun.
But that would have to be MA because you have to have sex with Hesri. Yeah. At least my version would have to have sex with Hesri.
And Hoshi, right? Put the hell back in Hoshi.
Don't tease me, woman. Don't tease me, woman.
Sorry.
But yeah, part of the problem though is the Trek fanboys. They get all pissed off. Well, we all got pissed off when with what JJ had done with the first couple films.
Because the stories didn't make any sense.
That is true.
We weren't pissed at how it looked.
But I think that was kind of, that he was trying to make it more appealing to the younger generation, and he did. Granted, the story sucked, but there may be aspects of those films that may work for other types of platforms. It's just at the same time, I don't think they being CBS exploited it as well as they should.
Yeah, because the game they did put out was not well received by anybody. I mean, by reviewers. I'm not talking Trekkies. I'm talking overall. It was not well received. But look, we've talked about the two movies, at length. Never have any of us ever said anything other than spectacular for how the films looked.
Yeah,
but
the visuals are striking.
Now, this was a big week for some news. So excited that Olivia Munn cast in the next X-Men Apocalypse as Cyclops. So excited. And I'm sure that right now somewhere Matthew Anderson is furiously pulling up the image of Olivia Munn because, well, you can never have too much. And that is like such amazing news. And right away, the fanboys went into overdrive as to how, she, Olivia Munn, blah, 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 blah. Look at that. Look at that. God damn. Jessica, you were on that.
I'm here for you.
So,
sadly, picture's so big that all I see are her breasts, and that upsets me greatly.
And you're complaining.
In other casting news, Sophia Boutella, she's been cast in Star Trek 3.
Yes. There's one other trailer that dropped this week, Mike.
The Batman vs. Superman?
Or, as I like to call it, DC version of let's make everything as incredibly dark as we can because we're not Marvel. Sorry, I was distracted.
Yeah, I had to do a double take too. Thanks, chat room.
As I said all along, I knew that Affleck would look good in the Batsuit. I had no doubts about that. He has the chin. But just fucking all right, people.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're using Dark Knight Returns as inspiration. Here's the problem with that. That was Christopher Nolan, and that's very specific to Batman. Why are the movies from Marvel so successful? Because of the humor and because of the light things that they inject, even during the worst crisis, i.e., look at the Avengers. DC seems to think we can, and they have put out an edict, we don't want humor in the movies. Wrong fucking answer. It's just so frustrating that The Dark Knight is an entity all its own. You don't try and fucking remake it. It worked because it was Nolan.
I don't think they're trying to remake it. From what I've seen, they're
trying to emulate it.
It's like they're picking. They're trying to pick up from where it left off.
No, because this is a much, much older Batman. This is the graphic novel Dark Knight Returns. Batman.
Well, that's kind of what I was trying to say was, they're kind of like continuing on. Yeah, they fast forwarded a bit, but it's still supposed to be kind of like a continuation.
George, then where was the humor in Man of Steel? Because that was a humorless fucking movie. And that's my problem with Man of Steel. It was, again, visually striking, but it was like Roots. Wow, Jasper, I really went back for that one.
My God, yeah. You've got LeVar Burton as a teenager in that one.
In college, that's right.
Yeah, he was at, I don't know. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, but it just, I loved the don't get me wrong, I love the trailer, especially the lead up where they're talking about, he's a menace, he's a hero, all of this, and then the statue of him, which at first I thought he was flipping people off. If you look at the way the hand is constructed, it almost looks like he's giving the finger. But and then the thing that says fallen god, I like that. I like that a lot. But is there any scene in that trailer with sunlight? I don't think there's a single one, except for the one where the dude is looking up at Superman, but he's blotting out the sun, so he's in silhouette.
Huh, interesting.
And I'm sorry, Superman is not the Crow. He's super fucking man. He's a dick. He's a big dick. He's a super dick. But he's Superman.
Well, was it sort of meant to be somewhat optimistic, too, that, he would fight the Nazis? I mean, yeah, and I'm going back to when he was created. He was the champion, the underdog kind of guy.
Well, yeah, he couldn't even fly. That was where the leaps buildings in a single bound came from, because he didn't even fly. He just jumped really high.
Yeah, so, and now,
he was like a bunny on steroids.
And then their mythos kind of gets thrown onto him, and and then he gets sort of weighted down by this, and and then you have to build on that and build on that. I'm sure they're going to reboot it at some point, and hopefully shed some of the darkness, because it's getting it's getting depressing to see it.
Right, which is where the Marvel movies, one of the preview reviews of Avengers Age of Ultron was, boy, it really even ramps it up from the Avengers, but the humor and the fun is still there. And that's what made the Avengers work so well. They're beating the hell out of each other in the first half, but yet there's the quips and, of course, the now iconic scene of billionaire philanthropist, all of that stuff. And hey, that guy's playing Galaga, little stuff like that. Now, granted, Robert Downey Jr. is an entity unto himself.
True.
But that, Into the Galaxy, had to see it twice because there was so much laughter the first time I watched it. But it's still, don't tell me nobody teared up when Groot did what Groot did. That's true. Grimmy says that's Joss Whedon. He knows when to put in a comedic line. And that's the key. And I'll give credit. Hey, look at me. I'm about to do something you rarely hear. I'll give credit to Into Darkness. There were some genuinely funny moments in that. When Kirk is being called on the carpet for breaking the Prime Directive and Spock says it was in my report, and Kirk looks at him and goes, you did a report? I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
Chris Pine, very good at that kind of reactionary comedy.
It's all timing.
It is.
Well, we have more news. Before we get to book news, it's fine. I wanted to share the awful IRS Star Trek film once again. So I put the link in the chat room. But
that's just mean. Why do you hate our audience that much?
But okay, so for book news.
Book news.
John Jackson Miller, I finally got your book. I will be reading it when I'm on my Where in the World is Gettysburg 7 deployment.
Star Trek Green Lantern crossover. Looks like they've got the Spectrum War. They've got a couple different covers available for that. Also, it looks like for the Star Trek 5-year mission comic line, the Tholian Web Part 2, the 2 of 2, is being released. Also, Star Trek New Visions, 1971 / 4860.2 is the name of issue 7. So that's those photo books where they're telling new and original stories. So those are the new comics that are coming out. So get your read on.
You ready to be disappointed in me, Mike?
What?
I canceled my subscriptions to the Star Trek comic this week.
You did?
I did.
Want to shed light?
Just not doing anything for me. And I replaced it with the October Faction, which is an amazing comic. But it just, there's too much. I don't know. Look, the crossover with Planet of the Apes was fun. Now with Green Lantern, but it seems like all their stuff. I don't want to read Star Trek to see it merge with other genre and other IPs. I just want good Star Trek, and the regular comic is doing that. They're doing all these event things with other stuff, and it's kind of annoying.
It's just trying to expand the universe a little bit, and
plus it's also a way to expand the audience. People who like those other theories see more of Star Trek and hopefully get into it.
Yeah, I just at $3.99 a pop, I'd rather put it into the October Faction.
Well, also, if all that they're doing is coming out with crossover stuff, it kind of makes you wonder about the strength of the IP.
It's not just crossover stuff. I mean, like I said,
no, there is a regular Star Trek title as well.
The regular comic, they're finishing up the Tholian Web. That was a 2-part episode or whatever the
arc.
Comic. Yeah, so they're still doing the regular stories. They've got the photo books, and then they tend to have one crossover out going at a time.
But again, here we go. What is Star Wars doing in the comics right now? They've got the regular line, plus they've got Star Wars Darth Vader, Star Wars Princess Leia. They've got their characters in standalone titles as well as the Star Wars comic. They're not doing Star Wars Planet of the Apes. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, and Trek can actually have, could be doing a Next Generation line, an Enterprise line, a Voyager line,
right
more
now,
DS9, but they're not.
Right now, Star Trek Julian Bashir. If they went the way of the novels where he's working for Section 31, imagine a Star Trek Section 31 comic. Holy shit.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun.
Star Trek DTI.
Yeah, but I guess
Star Trek SCE.
I guess the books have that, cornered or whatever. So.
What I wonder is how the regular Star Trek comic, I'm using the word very loosely on this, the canon line, is selling compared to the Planet of the Apes, the crossover stuff.
I'm not sure. I would suspect that the crossovers are doing fairly well because they're increasing, and their length, because the length of some of them are also growing, so they must be doing okay. Well,
Mike, you totally Skyped out on me there. Can you say that again?
Oh, I said they're doing more and more of them, and they seem to be getting longer, so they must be doing okay.
Which, yeah, that's... I don't know if that's good or not. Because then, is it the Planet of the Apes that's pulling them in, or is it Star Trek that's pulling them in?
I would assume both. It's both of them that are coming in to see how it goes. Fans of both IPs starting to figure out, okay, how in the world are they going to pull this off? And I haven't checked them out, so I really don't know. But the fact that they're doing more suggests that they probably pulled it off fairly well.
It just seems to me that they can't come up with Star Trek stories, so they've got to now, you know what I mean? Hey, let's hook it up with this. I don't know. I may be way off on this. It's just the things that are getting the most play in that realm are the crossover things, which I'm not sure that's a great thing. How about putting out a Star Trek comic series that people go, holy shit, really? You know what I mean?
It could be argued maybe that was the Q crossover with the TNG and the alternate universe.
Oh,
or
yeah.
not TNG, but DS9.
DS9, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
There's a feeling I'm exasperating you, Mike.
Sadly, I don't read the comics, so it's hard for me to comment.
Yeah.
But I do have product news.
New Star Trek products are coming in soon.
Okie doke.
Everything go okay, Jessica?
Well, I'm not going to go into a detailed report.
But you ran.
And, as much as I could with a bad knee.
Here we go. All right, we're gonna do a a Kickstarter to get Jessica one of those rascal scooters.
Oh man! Except there are some serious stairs in my home.
Well, then we got to get you that thing that the chair slides up the steps.
I want to just roll around on a Roomba.
On a what?
A Roomba.
The robotic vacuum.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. You mean the one that looks like the little droid that was on the Jawas thing in Star Wars?
little flat thing, just sort of right. It's a little slow, but it'd be multitasking, which is a good thing.
If I'm not mistaken, don't they just go around in circles, bouncing off walls and stuff?
And I don't do that now.
Dizzy. It'd be like riding the teacups.
All right. Well, there's a downside to everything.
Okay, Star Trek products. There are new TOS coin pouches. They're actually kind of cool if you use coin pouches. They're the shape of the Delta with science, command, and engineering logos on them. So those are cool. And then Think Geek has some new Trek-inspired T-shirts. Let me grab the link for that. So one is Live Long and Prosper, which has a picture of Sheldon on it, doing the Live Long and Prosper. The other one says Scotty's Starship Garage, and I can't read what it says underneath it.
Repairing warp core since 2244.
Thank you. And then there's McCoy's exotic animal veterinary clinic, and I can't read what's below that either, but it's got some tribbles in the Enterprise. That's kind of cool.
Get your tribbles spayed or neutered today.
There you go. Very important.
That works, yes.
So, yeah. There's one more bit of Star Trek news, but I want to save that for towards the end of the show because I think it'll be a good thing to discuss. So let's move on to convention news.
Shall we just start right off the bat with a Las Vegas update?
Are we still talking Vegas, right?
We are.
Vegas.
Yes. You're coming to Vegas, right? Star Trek Las Vegas may take place every August, but on this show...
This is where we hang out the rest of the year.
Exactly.
The crew has been fatigued now from so many months in space, and they need to take a break. The landing party has been down to check out the terrain while the crew gets ready to play. They say there's only plant life living on this lovely rock, but a rodent appears wearing
In the headlining section, looks like...
they revamped the webpage.
Oh, yeah, they've revamped the site. Let's see. Looks like they've added Jerry Ryan to the headlining section. Let's see.
As they should.
Michael Dorn, Marina Sirtis, and Jonathan Frakes, what we talked about last week. So they're all, the headliners, which is awesome. And there's, of course, everyone else that has been there. Carl Urban, Joan Collins.
Nicole DeBoer.
Not in the headlining.
She's a headliner to me.
Yes, she's a headliner for you. Some of the other stars that are attending are, did we mention Evan English? He played Ensign Tanner on Enterprise Cold Front. Okay. Richard Hurd is going to be there.
I don't think we mentioned that Tracy Scroggins would be there. I don't remember it, at least. And I don't remember mentioning Gary Graham.
Ooh, cool.
Maybe that was missed sometime along the way, or I don't think they would have mixed someone in the top though, but it's possible. But amended to the bottom of the page, they did add Roxanne Dawson, Doug Drexler, and Larry Nemechek.
Yes. Look at Larry getting photo and Dr. Trek and everything.
Yeah.
You go, Larry boy. Boomer Sooner.
And mentioning Roxanne Dawson, who played B'Elanna Torres in Voyager, it kind of brings me to a rant, not a rant, but a concern I have from an announcement from Stowe. So let's jump into Stowe news.
All right.
I want to play Star Trek Online.
Engineering here. Warp engines are online.
Course laid in, Captain.
Engage.
Your ship.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Your crew.
Move out.
Your destiny.
No, I closed the darn wrong window. Oh.
Live podcast, folks. Live podcast.
Yep, live
this
podcasting.
thing is acting
and yet we don't get nominated.
It's weird.
Sad,
because this laptop is just not designed. It just can't handle everything I'm making it do.
Why don't you use Terry's computer?
It's Terry's computer. It's like sacred and stuff. No,
there's
I
a force
really
field too.
But I have to work out a bug with the broadcasting, and I need to get some assistance with that. So,
okay.
Hopefully next week I'll be able to be broadcast from there. Okay, so here we go.
Anthony saying something I've heard a lot of this week, and we'll talk about that after.
Let's see. So the one of the big announcements this week for Stowe is Tom Paris is going to be doing some voiceover for the Iconian War. So we're going to have Miral Paris and we're going to have Tom Paris taking on the Iconians or leading the charge against the Iconians. Where the hell's B'Elanna? That's what I want to know is where the hell's B'Elanna? So I hope that they manage to get a hold of Roxanne Dawson and are able to get her into the Iconian War as well. So I think that would be like totally awesome to have, the Paris family kind of leading the charge. No one have any thoughts on that?
No.
Okay. But yeah, so Tom Paris.
No, they haven't just got Tom Paris. They've also got they've got Tom and Morale, haven't they?
Yes.
So yeah, it'd be good to have the whole family there.
That's what I'm saying. And this opens up an opportunity to do a Captain Proton, little side thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to an episode which involves Tom and Harry getting into trouble doing something. That's what I would like to see.
Oh, yeah, that would be kind of fun.
But that'd be good if it was like a Captain Proton thing.
Yeah, Captain
or monochrome.
But yeah, so Robert McNeil is going to be doing some voiceover for the Iconian War. That has me pleased.
I have seen, Anthony says in our chat room, is he the only one thinking Stowe is on life support?
I don't think it is.
I have seen that from more than one person, and people that normally are not like that.
Yeah, but you've always got people saying that.
No, but that's my point, Steve. It's from people that are not normally in that vein.
I did see something earlier.
A lot of people are having huge lagging issues. Huge.
I haven't, and I'm running on a piece of junk. But I have seen a couple questions, is the game heading towards an end now that they're finally getting to the Iconian War? Almost the point of the game now. But I was talking to Terry about it, and I kind of agree that there's still so much more that they can do. I mean, they're introducing the Iconian War, but the Iconian War can go on for years. And that's not to say that, they're not going to take little breaks every now and again to introduce a new faction or do introduce some new extra, content. Cardassians, I would love to see them come in, and that will kind of stop, the forward momentum of the war to kind of sort of go back and introduce a new faction. The Liberated Borg, they've been talking about for a while.
Why would you want to stop a forward momentum?
Well, it adds a new perspective to what's happening. So, for instance, right now, like with the Delta Recruit, we're essentially stopping and going back and essentially starting over with a lot of the game content, but at the same time, they're adding a new perspective to what is coming and what's going to happen.
But my point is you need to have it's momentum constantly going forward to suddenly put a break on that. Really.
Well, it is still some forward momentum.
And for all the people saying they haven't had lagging issues, I know Woody said that he got on and it was so bad that he was rubber banding all over the place. Last time I logged on, I tried for 5 minutes to fly and I was rubber banding so bad I just shut it off in disgust.
Is with the forum modifications moderation that I do. I know I've spoken to Laughing Trendy. They are looking into it, and there are a huge amount of people that are experiencing problems, but there's also a huge amount of people that aren't. But it is something they are actively looking into to try and get fixed as quickly as possible.
Yes, and the problem in that statement is not there's a huge amount of people that aren't, but a huge amount of people that are.
Yeah, I know.
That's a problem.
But the thing is all this stuff, it takes time to investigate and figure out why and how. The thing is, working in IT, sort of, you think you know what the problem is, but you could end up doing hours and days worth of work and then figure out, well, actually none of that is actually the reason why, and then you start again with another route of sort of investigation. So, unfortunately, it's just going to take time to try and figure out what is causing it. If it was happening to everybody, then...
It happens every time. Every time.
Yeah, but the thing is, because it's not happening to everybody, it's probably not as easy to track down, because it could be something to do with one bit of hardware or software that's on people's machines. It's not just region-specific, because I know people in the UK who are having, in Europe, who are having problems, but yeah, I'm not... Marky Mark in the chat has said he's not. It's something that so far eluded them. But that's one of the things with software, is sometimes it takes time to figure these things out. I know it's frustrating for the people who are affected, and there have been times when I have had sort of major lag in the game and others haven't. And then later on they have actually fixed it because some other people have had the same issue I have had.
But I'm interested into why Anthony says he's wondering if it's on life support.
I think that's because a lot of people are thinking that we're heading into a big war, which basically was started with the original storyline with the Arconians with Sealer being taken. And a lot of people think, they're closing it all down. But from what I know from talking to the devs and Laughing Trendy and other people, they have got so many other ideas that this is just one storyline out of so many that they've got. And there are still so many Trek things out there, which they can continue on. And sort of, as we know from Stowe, these wars that we have with other factions come and go. Like when we first started Stowe, how many factions were we at war against?
All of them.
Exactly. And slowly they've gone, but the game has still continued. The story has still continued.
Well, the Iconian War Season 10 gets released on April 21st. I, for one, am looking forward to it.
I am so much. I'm really looking forward to as well the new sector space.
One thing, however, that I am not pleased about are these so-called Fleet Tier 6 ships. They're not Tier 6. Yeah, they're the Tier 6 ships, but they're actually Tier 5U versions of them, slapped on with the fleet moniker. That's what they are. The benefit of a Tier 6 ship is getting the 5th mastery thing, and then which unlocks the starship trait, right? Well, these ships don't have that. It's like, okay, so if I did not purchase the Tier 6 version of this ship from the Sin store, I would have to get, for the fleet version, I would have to pay out 5 of the modules, which is more expensive, I do believe, than if I had bought the ship on the Zen store.
But that's the same if you buy a ship anyway and then have to buy the fleet version.
Well, if you buy a ship and then get the fleet version, it only costs you 1 module, not 5.
Yeah, but it costs you 5 if you don't have the original ship in the first place.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, if you don't have the original ship and you want to get it, and you pay out the fleet modules to get it, why is it gimped into a Tier 5U version rather than the Tier 6? And especially considering that it's supposed to be the fleet version, which traditionally has been the better version of the ship than the previous. So it's like, why strip out the Tier 6 benefits and still call it a Tier 6, but in reality, it's not. That's got me a little upset.
Isn't the Tier 6, although it has got the extra slots and it is boosted in other ways, as well as having the Tier 5 trait, I think that these fleet ones, I haven't actually checked the stats, but are they not...
I haven't checked the stats either, because I'd have to go back and dig up the old articles. But the on the Tier 6, when you reach each of the mastery, your stats go up. So they're essentially slashing the last stat, I would assume, because we're not getting that 5th mastery. And it's that 5th mastery that gives us not only the trait, but it's supposed to be the high end of that ship's capabilities. So all the stats go up with each mastery level, and by the time you get to the 5th one, you have the best that ship can handle, along with the starship trait. And like, my concern is, I already have the ships, so I'm not really worried about it. But if I didn't have the ships already, and I was going to pay out 4 or 5 fleet modules for them, why am I being penalized and not getting the Tier 6 version of what they're claiming is a Tier 6 ship? But I'm not getting the Tier 6 version. I'm getting the Tier 5, the Tier 5
upgrade.
It doesn't make sense. And yeah, sure, it's fleet, so it has whatever the fleet
10% extra shields, 10% extra hull, and the extra console slot.
which is cool, but it's like, why punish me? It should be called. It should not be called a Tier 6 ship. I don't think it should be a Tier 5U, because that's actually what it is. It's just the Tier 5U fleet version of the Tier 6 ships. It's just,
Mike, you're very frustrated.
It is frustrating. I mean, for me, it's no big deal. I already have the damn ship, but I don't see the point. For me, there's no point for me to want to upgrade to the fleet version. And the last bit of Stowe news. New lockbox, Zindi Terrestrial.
Sunseal says it's just laziness. It's why my Zindi Aquatic Narcine Carrier is not T6. Fucking laziness. Mike, reaction?
I don't know. None of the lockbox ships are Tier 6, except for like the last generation. Yeah, if even that. But
no, because no, never mind.
Yeah, just the last lockbox. That's the only Tier 6 lockbox ships that they've come up with, and that's because that is what they've. That's when they were releasing all the Tier 6. It would be nice if they went back and revamped and bumped all of those ships up to Tier 6, but I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. But speaking of the lockboxes, and Zindi, there is a new lockbox coming out with the Zindi Terrestrial lockbox, and it looks like you can get the Zindi insectoid ship in that, which looks pretty badass, I have to admit. And it looks like you can also get one of the Zindi primate ships from it. And then they've got other things that you can get. Some of the consoles seem pretty cool. They're Zindi based technology. So if you're into lockboxes, yay. If not,
They're actually renaming the boxes as well. So originally it was called the Zindi Lockbox, but that one is now being called the Zindi Aquatic one, I think. And this one's now being called the Zindi Terrestrial.
Okay. So, yeah.
And we're currently going through until Season 10 is launched, the Last Chance event again, where you can pick up all the different lockboxes just by doing standard gameplay.
Yep. So if you haven't gotten something and you want to, get one of those earlier ships, here's your chance. Okay, so the last bit of news, this is the thing that I had been saving for us to kind of sort of discuss. What is your best Trek lesson? StarTrek.com, they're doing this new thing called Fan Favorites, where they're asking fans a question and then asking, collecting all of the responses before coming out and posting it. So what they did this week or a couple of weeks ago was, what's the best lesson that Star Trek has taught you? And some of the responses were interesting. When I was a little girl watching Star Trek in the 60s, all I heard all the time was girls can't do that, can't be doctors or scientists or anything else that would catch my interest. But Star Trek taught me I could be anything I wanted. Some of the other responses is don't wear a red shirt and go on a mission. Resistance is futile. And then immediately after that, resistance is not really futile after all. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever is left, no matter how improbable, must be the truth. Lieutenant Data is fully functional. Let's see, English. Star Trek taught me to be fluent in English. That there's probably some alternate universe somewhere else where I am an awesome captain. That racism is for total idiots. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Very important. Don't feed the tribbles. That's an important lesson.
Especially after
chicks
midnight.
are pretty hot. Yeah, I have to agree with that one. Some friends, however strange and imperfect, can last lifetimes. So true.
That's a good one.
Yeah, live long and prosper. Not sure how to fully accomplish this, but I will try. So there's a lot of good ones. I mean, the list just goes on and on. So I just went over some of the ones that caught my eye. But I'd like to ask each of you, what are the lessons that Trek has taught you?
Don't exceed warp 10.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but do you really have to worry about it, Steve? Because you're already a lizard. Oh!
Ooh, spoiler.
How do you think I got there?
Boom! Jasper, you were answering.
Okay. Well, I also kind of got the, that girls can't do this, that, and the other thing. But the thing is, in TOS, the regular women are basically a receptionist, a secretary, and a nurse, which were pretty traditional female roles at the time, so that wasn't really helping me that much. But I do recall in one episode where Uhura is under her desk, and she is pulling at wires, and she is working on them.
Oh, yeah.
And Spock says to her, there's nobody better to do this job. And that was much more of a lesson for me of, you can do anything than just seeing her on the bridge and, for the umpteenth time saying hailing frequencies over. I mean, and you have to recognize that my father's an engineer, and my uncle had been an engineer. So I grew up with engineers, and engineering in the 60s, certainly. And in my family, this was what men did. And the other thing I think that
having her as a bridge officer was a huge, and never commenting at all on her being a black woman.
Yes.
She was one of the command team. That's what it was. So that was huge.
Yes. The fact that she was there and that, nobody noticed her race. Nobody talked about it. And the only person who really talks about it actually is Abe Lincoln. And he's embarrassed when he says it. He says, what a charming negress. And she kind of deflects that and says something along the lines of, well, we don't really talk about that too much anymore. We don't emphasize that anymore. And so that's a very different culture. And the other thing I learned is, and this is, sort of peripherally related, was very much how to write and how to take criticism, whether it's constructive or destructive for that matter, and how to put yourself out there, because I see way too many people who are trying to write, who want to write, who are amateur writers, and who are terrified of releasing their stuff out to the interwebs, and that this is the only way you're going to get any better. And Star Trek and fan fiction absolutely gave me a platform for this. It gave me a safe space to do it, and to to kind of let that little freak flag fly that I didn't have an opportunity to do in any other part of my life, because like I said, I grew up in a family where everybody was where the professionals were in science kind of stuff. And you have to recognize my mother is a retired reference librarian, so it's not like the arts and literature and whatever was missing, but it was sort of this was a very high level kind of thing, and you couldn't possibly do that. Oh, come on, you don't have the talent for that. Well, something, maybe I don't have the talent for that, but maybe I have the talent for something. And Trek really gave me the positive opportunity to spread those wings and to learn that sort of stuff, and to and to fall on my face and make mistakes too, I might add.
Right on. Real quick, a couple items.
Well, wait a minute. How about you, Mike?
I'll get to mine in a few minutes. Grimmy says, I learned that space is no place for space hippies. Anthony Battles, I learned that you can be a captain, kiss a black girl, and not lose your command.
Yeah, good.
Definitely.
Matthew Anderson, Cisco, I think what he's saying is good people can do bad things for good reasons.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, I'm scrolling. And George is talking Star Wars.
Scrolling, rawhide.
So, yeah. And
Yes,
George
I
is
got
talking
that
Star
joke too.
Wars. So, what I learned can be summed up with infinite diversity and infinite combinations. I mean, we are all different. We are all, unique individuals, yet we are all also all the same. We all feel, we all hurt, we all suffer the same way. We all laugh, we cry, we experience happiness. We're more alike than what our superficial differences. So it's the humanity. That's what I learned.
What about you?
Deep.
And I'm all the Klimt.
That's very deep, Mike.
Oh, what about you, Stu?
And not to feed the triples.
Yeah, no, don't feed
the triples.
I like to be fed.
Steve.
I suppose for me, there's always room for hope. There's always some way to try and help other people out, and to sort of, never give up. That's what sort of Trek has always been.
Never surrender.
I was going to say,
wrong
Steve, that's Galaxy. You're mixing up the...
Yeah.
But no, for me, I got into Trek properly through Voyager because it related to me with people coming together as a family when they were a very long way from their family, which for me, it connected with me because I'd sort of, about a decade before, I'd moved down from Scotland, so I was 600 miles away from the rest of my family. Sort of, Dad was never around and all sorts of things. So for me, is always sort of people can help each other and be your family without being sort of blood related. And those
Very
people
true.
will help you get through anything and everything.
Very true. Family is what you make it. It's not just...
That's true.
It's not isolated to who you are blood related to. Yeah, very, very true.
That's a good one. That's good, Steve.
Yeah, chemistry doesn't define your family.
Exactly. What about you, Nick?
That if you... One of the things is that the higher up you progress in a professional career,
the crazier you get,
the more lonely you get. And that you have to live with making decisions that many people may not understand, but that you're taking all the available stuff and coming to the best conclusion for how to proceed. And that can be a very lonely place. And that you gotta love. Don't do your job just to put food on the table. Do a job because you love it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Because it makes all the difference in the world. And I guess something else is that how do I say this? IDIC is a great philosophy, but even among those who, Mike, I'm not talking about you. Even those who profess to love it, there's a long way to go before it's actually practiced.
Yes, it is a hard thing to do, to leave your preconceptions, your misconceptions behind, and to just accept and love another person.
Well, I just think one of the things that strikes me is, well, never mind, I won't get into it because it'll start a whole thing. But some of the most diehard people that profess to love Trek and the philosophy and the ethic are the first to come down on people for having faith because they don't believe in it, and that's all I'll say.
Oh yeah, sadly there are individuals that tend to be so still closed-minded. I mean, in not just about faith, but in terms of other things that distinguish people, make people different. Whether it's religion or whether it's politics and all of these other things. Yeah, there are still too many dividing lines that we have to overcome. And I'm hoping that someday, it is my hope that someday we do overcome them, and that we don't have to judge each other based on whether we're red, whether we're blue, whether we're
ridges.
whether we got ridges or not,
Well, one of the things that I think Deep Space Nine was so wonderful was tackling the faith question.
Yeah, and it does show that in Trek there is room for it.
And the line to Kira that Kira said to Odo is, that's the thing. If you don't have it, you won't understand it, and if you do, you don't need it explained. That was such a great moment, and Kira's faith, it was shaken at times, but she was so devout, and that's a wonderful thing. And I loved Kaiopaka, but yeah, there's such a because you have some because you have fuckheads like the Westboro Baptist Church, it opens up the door to, oh, well, all these right-wing religious zealots. Well, that's like saying because of Al Sharpton, all these race hustling, race card players. No, everybody's an individual, it's just, but you lump them together because they're part of an organization doesn't mean that everybody's feeling the same way.
Well, if you're going to be IDIC, it has to be for every reason, for every difference among people. I mean, everybody rags on the theme song of Enterprise, but
I don't.
Faith of the heart, it should be faith of all hearts, all faiths, all hearts. That's the proto IDIC. This is, and including people who don't have faith or who question. This is, so that means everyone. That means caring for everybody.
I'm just going to say this. Proto-idic sounds like a new line of adult toys. A new proto-idic available at Adam and Eve. But
battery powered.
Yeah.
Well, it also comes with the plug, the detachable plug.
Yeah, but be careful. Don't get that thing wet.
Oh, God, no. Oh, it's terrible. But,
explain that to the emergency
wait
room.
a minute. It will get wet, though.
Oh, baby. We'll take this offline.
No, so, but it's just, yeah. So that's just one of the things that, like, it's something you see pretty heavy actually in the Star Trek community is the I have no time for religion, because Star Trek made a lot of arguments that religion was bad. The original, once we got into like Deep Space Nine, they went the other way. In discussing faith. But really, almost every time you saw a religion or a faith represented, it was evil. It was causing issues.
Well, there are aspects of religion that are not good.
No, it's people's interpretation.
Well, the element of trying to control people's ideas. And yes, people do take the ideas, or they will corrupt what is the intention of a religion, and they'll twist it to their terms, and that is what really makes religion bad. And I think that's kind of what they were kind of going.
But that's not the religion that's bad. That's the people that are doing that's bad.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
You can't get around people doing horrible things. People have killed in the name of God for thousands of years, and unfortunately, they probably still will. But I mean, this is why one of the first fanfics I ever wrote was a Hanukkah story. This is, I think there's absolutely room for this. It's just people aren't showing it too much.
Because when people say, "Oh, religion's done this and that," but then they never recognize all the missionaries that are around the world, doing medical work and teaching, clean water and all of those things.
Well, this was the social safety net for a very, very long time. It was faith-based.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just, and then I look at people like the Jesuits who are, amazing scholars. Amazing. This Pope, first Jesuit Pope. And just look at the way he lives his life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
and let's face it, Jesfa, is a member of the tribe.
Yep.
They've been blamed for everything that has ever gone wrong.
Yes, including the media, apparently.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they get blamed for the Holocaust.
Yes. It's kind of a blame the victim tautology going on there.
You know, because it never happened. The Holocaust never happened.
We're just making that shit up.
You know, little trivia question. Do you guys know why Hitler didn't drink vodka?
No.
It made him mean.
Ooh.
Mike is stunned into silence.
Well, there is a
That's why Galron doesn't drink around me now.
There's a quote that I will repeat right now. Can't we all just get along?
You are not really quoting Rodney King.
Sorry, but that was that right there. That statement is, almost like the foundation of IDIC. It's like, can't we all just get along? I mean, that's really the truth of it. We have to be able to accept one another's differences in order to be able to get along. So we're all in the same boat. I mean,
and this is why Terry and I will always have that fundamental disagreement that we will never reach the utopia that the Federation says it is, but as we know, it's not. Because as long as one person has blonde hair and one person has brown hair, or one person has brown eyes or one person has blue eyes, there's going to be some fighting going on. It's just human nature.
But aren't humans are able to change and adapt their nature?
We're still...
Yeah, yes, we still have our caveman tendencies.
Anger, jealousy, greed, all of that are basic human emotions.
Yes, but at the same time, we can control them. We can work and improve them, and not let them.
But that's the problem. Not everybody can.
But you've just got to have a look at where we've come
Sadly,
especially the last 100 years, and even the last 50 years, how attitudes have changed from when sort of Star Trek started to where they are now, and what people never talked about back then to sort of what will openly be discussions. And yeah, we are always changing with regards to attitudes, and I see that as always going to happen myself. We do adapt, and especially things like the internet and other things, they are helping bring more people together than what it used to be. Because
it's also dividing people way more. People are now isolating themselves in little groupthink bubbles. I was unfriended yesterday because somebody was being very, very, very judgmental, and I called him out on it, and I said, this is the tolerance that you're always preaching to attack this group, and that question was considered an attack.
Well, what I'm finding with the interwebs is I'm starting to see the deeply held beliefs of some people, some beliefs that I wouldn't necessarily have seen otherwise are starting to bubble up to the surface because of things that people share or like or whatever. Like, who's an anti-vaxxer? Suddenly, that leaps out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's always interesting. But to kind of throw out a squirrel here, Matthew Anderson says you're going to the Ukraine. Will you be confirming or denying that?
I will not be going to the Ukraine. I will not be going to Ukraine.
All right. I think it is time for us to start winding things down. So,
hold on, we're in the middle of something here, Mike.
Oh, I thought. Okay, sorry.
And the Ukraine.
Go ahead.
It is not the Ukraine. No, but it also, what the internet has done is it's now shit. Look at just the controversy of what Gamergate even is. Let alone the people that threaten rape, murder, they dox, all of that. That 20 years ago, that wasn't happening.
Well, it was. You probably just didn't know about
it. Not like this. Not where you're sending. not where somebody is sending Mike's address out to 1 million people in a gigasecond.
Well, because they're able to do that, though.
Right, but it's making people social. I don't want to say social justice because that's
Grim
but
says
people
300
are
years
now
ago people were being burned, at stake, for being witches.
They still are in some areas of the world.
Yeah, so I mean,
but
that is the same thing. But you had a crowd of 300.
But look, okay, here I'm gonna tread into some very dangerous territory. Due to social media, look at the automatic groupthink that happens when something like hands up, don't shoot, which including the Justice Department said, yeah, that never happened. But people died because groupthink spread so fast on it had to have happened because eyewitnesses said it.
Oh, it's very easy for one slight misinterpretation or a manipulation to spread very quickly. I mean,
and then it doesn't get pulled back for months. That's all we heard. But then when the Justice Department, which let's face it, they said it in the beginning too. When their report came out and said, no, it never happened. How much did you see that spread around like the initial stuff?
You didn't. And I mean, and this is the same thing with any retraction, though. Retractions never seem to go as far as an initial statement.
Yeah. And it's really hurting, not the culture, but the world.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's hurting us in a lot of ways. All this instant connectivity is awesome. It's amazing. It's also incredibly destructive.
And you're right. There's a lot of enclaving that is going on. I mean, Facebook, just to throw that as an example, there are 1.3 billion people. There's no way you'll ever know everybody. There is no way you will ever know 1,000th of 1% of everybody who is on that site. Mm-hmm. And so as a result, people create pages and groups and whatnot, and they enclave together. So you've got your Mary Stuart Masterson fan club, for example, and you enclave with those folks. And if that's all you read, then that is going to loom extraordinarily large. And you're going to be looking at that and saying, oh, wow, why isn't there more press about this? This is so important. It's so big and important. And it's really not. It's just that's what's dominating your feed. I have this issue with a family member who doesn't have a lot of friends online. I'm one of her friends, so she sees my stuff over and over and over again, and I loom large and I dominate her feed. I don't mean to. I just do because she doesn't have a lot of people who she's following, and so. There's sort of this, idea in her head that we are closer and we are better pals than we really are because she's seeing all this stuff from me.
Well, and that's the other thing is that social media allows for people to seem to have somebody who's offended by something a far larger presence than there may be.
Oh yeah, it gives you an audience for your complaints.
And businesses and politicians and all that are taking. How many people are on Twitter? Like several billion, correct?
1 million, but yeah. Twitter's not as large.
But yet, look at the outrage that a group of a couple of thousand on Twitter can cause an entire company to change directions.
651 million accounts on Twitter. That's Twitter's dark pool, quote unquote, of users, people who signed up and didn't like it. So it's 651 million people who don't even use the accounts, unused accounts.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So how many used accounts are there? Statistic brain. That's what I wanted to do.
I think we just heard her head explode.
Ooh. You know what Twitter's annual advertising revenue is? For 2014, it's almost $500 million freaking dollars, babe.
Wow.
Total registered Twitter accounts, 645.7 million. Number of active users, 289 million. Number of unique Twitter site visitors every month, 190 million. Average number of tweets per day, 58 million.
Okay, so there you go. So what was the one before the 58 million?
Oh, sorry.
Unique visitors a day.
Yeah, every month. Sorry, 190 million.
Okay, so you have 1,000 people that complain about something that can cause someone to get fired, someone to a business to shut down, all these things. That's a little too much power in the hands of people that think the moon is hollow.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. There's well, it's also like who spreads to what though. It's who's an influencer, who's important, who has a lot of followers, but also what their followers do. Because I could have 1,000 followers and you can have 1,000 followers, but if my followers are people who are more likely to spread my message, then even though you and I have the same number of followers, I actually have more influence than you do.
Right.
You have a great reach.
Look at her putting her edumacation to use.
I'm going to do my final project on this. I'll be writing my thesis.
But that
on
goes
this.
to what Mike coined, the G&T bump.
Yes, definitely.
See, Mike, I'm giving you the credit for that.
I remember differently, but all right.
I'm giving it to you.
Yeah, blame me. Go ahead.
No, it's not a blame. It's a positive. We made Dayton Ward a New York Times bestseller. Us. And by the way,
Yeah.
I'm almost at 1,000 followers.
I don't know how many followers I've got. I haven't looked recently. God. Oh, that's bad.
I'm approaching 2,000 followers.
How many followers? Oh my God.
97.
Jessica has 97 followers.
No, that's
Really?
that is the fan fiction one.
Oh.
Let me look up the other one.
Oh, never mind. I don't have. I'm not even close to 2,000 followers. I was looking at the following.
Oh.
716
Holy crap,
followers
Mike.
for the social media account.
Mike, how do you keep up with your feed when you have almost 2,000 people you're following?
Very careful. I do a lot of glancing. I look for things that jump out at me, things I'm looking for. Or
And it's funny is because Janice will say, you didn't respond to something I tweeted. And I'm like, because I'm following like 800 people, I may not, it may have been in the 10 seconds that I went to the bathroom, and by the time I come back,
yeah, I just glance if something jumps out at me, because it's something I'm looking for or thinking about, then I'll look at that. But otherwise, it's just a wall of text, and it's just hard to follow. It's hard to respond, anything unless someone directs it directly at me. So at Ceridium STO.
Wow, well done.
Yeah,
Mike taking pimping to a whole new level.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
So that's Ceridium STO, SORIEDEM STO. Is that the Twitter
correct.
handle?
Yeah. So if you
not
want
to be
me
confused with
something,
Gettysburg 7.
Yeah, yes, Gettysburg 7. So yeah, if you want me to see it, that's usually the best way for me to see it. But I will glance, and if something jumps out at me, I look at it. Otherwise, there's just too much there. But I like having all of those people, their information, because depending on whatever topic I'm interested in, at the moment, I'm usually sure to find something that entertaining. So,
and the other thing though that's amazing is, like, I think back to a couple of years ago, the Ravens 49ers Super Bowl, when the power went out in the stadium. Twitter was the place to be at that point, because people were riffing and having fun, and it was the group party. It was hilarious. And that's where the positive side is. Now, I've become introduced to authors whose works I never would have known about, or music I never would have heard about if it wasn't for social media. I wouldn't know Grimmy, and my life would be far worse off not knowing Grimmy. I know Magnum because of social media, and my life... All right, Anthony, stop listening for a couple of minutes. My life is a whole lot better because I know Magnum, my brother from another mother. Peace!
Yeah, our chat room is putting in their followers and following, and who the number of followers and the number of people they follow, and the followers that follow them. I'm confused.
There you go. Get it out. All that alcohol Terry bought for you, it's gone, isn't it?
No, I'm down to like half.
in like a day.
Yeah.
You lush.
Hey, I only drink at Terry's and Vegas.
And when you're awake.
I don't. I
know.
This is the time for me to unwind and get, drunk as fuck, and I do.
Oh, I remember when I sat there. Yeah. You know what I did? I slept a lot.
I can't sleep.
Until Chloe came up and nudged me and said, Hey, I'm
waking up the dogs. Now. I can't sleep. I'm not sleeping here.
Why? It's the most comfortable place in the world.
It is very comfortable, but it's like the air is thin and very dry, and I just can't breathe. So it's like I can't get comfortable. I don't know. It's just
another Kickstarter. Get Mike scuba gear for when he visits Albuquerque.
Yeah, so I'm waking up the dogs in the middle of the night, and yeah, like this morning.
We gotta get Mike a Bane mask.
So thin air and loud dogs.
It's you know what that is called? Nirvana.
I do love it here though, but I need to. Yeah, when I'm here, I'm waking up earlier than I normally do. I'm also going to bed earlier than I usually do, but like this morning.
Yeah, because you don't sleep when you're at home. I'll wake up at 4 a.m. because I just wake up out of nowhere, and Mike's like, "Hey Nick, how you doing?"
But this morning I woke up Casey and Chloe, and is like, "Are you guys hungry yet?" They just looked up at me.
You'll pay for that later. You will so pay for that later. Now, question: talking about social media.
Okay.
How many remember that excitement when you reached 100 followers?
Oh yeah.
I completely missed mine.
Of course you did, because you don't care about anybody, Steve.
Well, I've just got so many accounts that I forget to check the counts until somebody mentions it.
Oh, God. It's like Stowe. How many characters do you have in Stowe now?
31 or 32.
What the fuck? Why? Why?
It's a football team with all the reserves.
Yeah, he's trying to get up to 56 players.
There you go.
Tate, are you talking about getting to 100? He's like, it was awesome. It was like, woo! I've got 100 followers. Look at me.
And then you come across someone like, Shatner.
Terry. It's somebody like Terry. Oh yeah, hey, I just hit 900. Shut up.
Yeah, she's like, 5 times above anything anyone else can do.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, somebody posted earlier, technology is not good or evil, it's neutral. Yeah, I guess I'll agree with that. You guys, any thoughts?
Yeah, it is neutral. It's a communication medium, and it's a very useful, a very easy one, and it really it is very good for laziness. It's really, and it also kind of supports that. So it's very easy to look at that and think that everything's going to go falling into your lap, and that's not true.
I think the reason that I don't buy into the Federation utopia of the future is the more connected we get, the more isolated we become in our viewpoints. Because God forbid you disagree with someone, it's so easy for them to now go, well, I'm just gonna. There, I'm no longer following you. I don't have to hear something that makes me uncomfortable. And have you noticed with the rise of social media, people's comfort is now the most important thing.
And their fuses are short, and we need to be very comfortable all the time too.
Yes, we don't want to be uncomfortable. And I posted, I think it was last week, I love Camille Paglia. Do I agree with everything she says? No. But why do I love her? No one makes me look more shit up than Camille Paglia. And if you don't know who Camille Paglia is, you're doing yourself a disservice. She is an incredible intellectual. She's a feminist who has been shunned by the feminist community because she's like, no, this man hating is a bunch of shit. She's like, it's all about personal. you're being offended. You just have to. I cannot do her credit, but I will read social media posts and stuff by people I don't agree with to research it and say, oh, well, never thought of that. Let me look at it from that view. And then after researching it, go, still don't agree with them. Now, I'm not talking about like the Alex Joneses of the world. Okay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like Christopher Hitchens or Camille Paglia or, people like that. But what I find amazing, like we said in the beginning, is the people who say, we need more diversity, we need more better understanding, are some of the first to say, except for this group, I can't listen to anything they say. And I'm not talking about like the Klan or NAMBLA. I'm talking about, other groups.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people's sense of what is truly inappropriate, truly evil, truly horrible
God, Anthony.
is getting bigger, and their sense of what's appropriate and good and that they want to follow and be part of is shrinking. And so, yeah, I mean, we can all. I think almost everybody can agree. Yeah, we don't agree with the Klan. Horrible. Forget them. And we can all agree that Westboro Baptist Church, they're horrible. We don't agree with them. They're terrible. But then you start to see people talking about that way about, say, Dick Cheney. And I've never voted for Dick Cheney on any ticket. I would never vote for Dick Cheney on any.
But they compare him to Hitler.
Exactly. It's you're diminishing the horror of the Holocaust. You're trivializing it by putting him into that bucket. He's not in that bucket. You may not like him. You may think that he's done horrible things. You may feel that he has pushed people into an unjust war. We can go down that line and we can talk about this for the next 3 hours if you want to. But this is not the same league. This isn't on the same freaking planet, folks. And to put it together like that diminishes it and trivializes it in a way that is, I find, horribly offensive and repulsive.
Now, real quick, Anthony, it's from Friends, and Chandler Bong was the name that Chandler Bing had that was on his TV guide that was delivered every week, and it was Miss Chandler Bong. Okay, getting back to, but thank you, Jessica. God, we are so in sync this week.
It's scary.
But yeah, no, you're and there's that whole Godwin's Law thing. It's on social media now. What, you don't like my hockey team? You're no better than Hitler.
Yeah, it's stupid crap like that.
It's comparing people to Nazis right off the bat.
Yeah, where do you go from there? Come on, where do you go from there?
Well, now you can go to ISIS.
I thought you said Iceland for a second.
Oh God, women in Iceland. That's probably a good place for us to leave off, because I know that Mike. You guys can't see it because the camera's shut off in the studio, but Mike has got his legs crossed and he's hopping up and down on one leg.
Oh yeah, the pain.
Please pull back for camera shots.
And you guys don't know it, but in our private chat, Mike just told Steve to fuck off. Best day ever.
Oh my God, it's here. It's here. We have proof. We do.
Don't make me laugh.
You know what my favorite Three Stooges bit was, Jessica?
Okay.
Niagara Falls. Slowly. I'm sorry, Mike. It's wrong.
Oh, you bad.
That was the equivalent of a nice hot cup of tea. Just the warmth spreading down your throat.
That's all below the belt, Al. Actually, it will be soon.
Okay.
If we don't go, it's
now I have to
down my leg.
All right. Shall we wrap?
Let's wrap.
Yeah.
Let's wrap, baby.
Thank you, everybody. It's been a lot of fun and insightful, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
It was freaking deep. Live long and prosper.
Goodbye, everyone.
Oh, what the hell? Kapla.
Cholon fucking true.
Music for the G&T show is provided by Warp 11, Andrew Allen, Grethor, and 5 Year Mission. This has been a Busy Little Beaver production.